Welcome to Social Aloe Ministries, where we are committed to glorifying God while exposing the devil. There is going to be pain associated with holding on to something, to include someone, if that thing or person does not belong to you. Maybe at one point that thing or person did, but the season has come and gone for that person or thing to not be in your life. And it's going to be even more painful if the Lord told you to let go, but you're holding on. It's going to be more painful if what you want is not what the Lord wants you to have, but you insist on holding on. In 1 Samuel 4, the Philistines were in a battle with the Israelites, and they captured the Ark of God. We know that the Lord allowed them to have it, but still it was going to be painful for them. And a part of how we know the Lord allowed them to have it was based on what happened with Uzzah, as recorded in 2 Samuel 6, when they were transporting the ark and he reached to touch and steady it because he knew as if it was going to fall over, and the Lord struck him dead. So yes, the Lord allowed the Philistines to capture the ark of God. But you have to realize, when something is in your possession, when something is in your midst, and it is causing pain, that it probably means you need to let that thing go. Think about swimming with a lead vest on. At some point in time, you should realize that you probably need to take the vest off and separate yourself from it, or else it is going to go down and it's going to take you with it. In 1 Samuel 5, it states, "And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod." When the Philistines took the ark of God, took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. Dagon was the Philistine god. So the ark of God against a false god, when in Exodus 3 the Lord speaks about not having any other god beside him, there's going to be a problem. And sometimes one of the reasons why the Lord doesn't want you to have something, it may be because one person, in this case of people, one person belongs to capital God and the other person belongs to lowercase God. And it's not just going to be a personal battle, it's going to be a spiritual battle. So the ark of God in the house of Dagon by Dagon, which is an idol. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So Dagon had fallen over. Wonder why? It is a colloquial. When you start tripping, when things start falling over, when your life starts falling apart, look at the initial signs that maybe what you have is something you need to let go of. Especially if it's at a point where you don't know you need to let go of it yet. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. But they set Dagon in a place that they thought he belonged. And when they rose early on the morrow, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hand were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. So things are escalating. Didn't get the first sign, so maybe they'll get the second sign that God will not share space with another god. It is not going to work. Therefore, neither the priest of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod unto this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them, and he smote them with emeroids, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. So the people were afflicted with hemorrhoids. They were holding on to the ark of God, and it became a literal pain in their rear. They had hemorrhoids. What is causing you to have flare-ups? What is causing you to have flare-ups? What are you holding on to that is causing you to have flare-ups? And when the men of Ashdod saw it that it was so, they said, the ark of God of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us, and upon Dagon our God. They got the sign. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them, and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, let the ark of God of Israel be carried about unto Gath. Gath is another Philistine city. Gath is also the home of Goliath, the one who David would later face. So rather than sending the ark out of the Philistine territory and back into Israel, they try to put it somewhere else. There are times, for example, the Lord may tell a person to end a relationship. Rather than ending it and parting ways, that person may try to do a downgrade, so to speak. Try to hold on to that person in an indirect manner, even after the Lord has said, let the person go. And when the Lord said let go, he meant let go completely. And they carried the ark of God of Israel about thither. And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts. When you try something different and you get the same results, do not ignore the sign either. When you try something different and you get the same results, just maybe the Lord is against you. Therefore, they sent the ark of God to Ekron. And it came to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought about the ark of God of Israel to us, to slay us and our people. So the Ekronites knew what was going on. And they knew that before basically the ark even arrived, that it was going to be trouble for them. In a sense, be like the Ekronites, to be able to recognize the signs from a distance. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of God of Israel and let it go again to his own place. Learn to recognize when it's time, just let it go, or it's going to be painful for you. Not just painful for you, but painful for those around you. Because even if it's just painful for you, you may be so miserable in your pain that you start making other people's lives miserable. So there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. And the men that died not were smitten with the emeroids, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. There are times when things are painful because the devil is against you. But learn to recognize the difference between when the devil is against you versus when the Lord is against you. It is better to have the devil against you than the Lord. Believe me. And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priest and the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. And they said, If ye send away the ark of God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering, a sign of repentance, then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. So there comes a point where you're trying to advance your own agenda, and you realize that the Lord is against you, and he's made it painful for you to hold on to something, painful for you to hold on to someone. That when you realize it's time to let it go. That's how you repent. You can't tell the Lord that you're sorry for doing something, yet keep on doing it. And there's another example that I want to share with you about holding on to the wrong thing and how costly it can be. The Lord had given Joshua some instructions regarding how to conquer the city of Jericho, the heavily fortified city of Jericho. In Joshua chapter 6, starting verse 16, And it came to pass at the seventh time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city, and the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take off the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold, and vessels of brass and iron, are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So Joshua gave them some instructions. Leave the things in Jericho alone. They are accursed. If you hold on to them, you're basically going to bring a curse upon yourself. And there are times, kind of like with relationships, if you're holding on to a relationship, both of you may be good people, both of you may be God-loving, God-fearing people, but you're just not good for each other. And if you stay in the relationship, it's going to cause problems. So it's not always because a thing or even a person is a curse. Sometimes because you don't need to be together, and if you do, it's going to cause problems. But this is just not about relationships. The Lord may not want you to have a job. He may have another job in store for you. But because you're holding on to that job, things are not going well for you. So there are a lot of ways. I don't want you to get so focused on relationships that you only think about relationships. It could be so many more things. Whatever it is the Lord has told you let go of, let go. Flipping over to Joshua 7, starting verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. Joshua gave the warning to the people, but Achan took something that was accursed, and didn't just say that it brought a curse on Achan, or even Achan's family. It brought a curse on Israel. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-aven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And when they returned to Joshua, and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 go up and smite Ai. And make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So they did a reconnaissance and determined that 2,000 or 3,000 people should be able to take care of the people of Ai, because there are only a few people there. So they went up thither of the people, about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even to Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. But Joshua inquired of the Lord, and found out that Achan was the one who took the cursed thing and brought a curse on the people of Israel. And in Joshua 7, verse 22, after the inquiry, so Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. So part of what he took said, and the silver under it. And I had done another teaching on this before, but the Holy Spirit just revealed this to me, because the silver under it. In Joshua's instruction in Joshua 6:19 it states, But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. So it wasn't only that Achan took accursed things, he took something that was supposed to be consecrated unto the Lord. There are times when you are holding on to something that the Lord has consecrated for himself or for another, and you end up in rebellion against the Lord. In 1 Samuel 15, Samuel spoke about rebellion being as a sin of witchcraft. Rebellion being as a sin of witchcraft. So Achan was in direct rebellion against the Lord. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold. So another item that actually belonged to God, that was consecrated unto the Lord, that Achan took. So in his pursuit of a selfish desire, he was rebelling against the Lord. And his sons and his daughters and his oxen and his asses and his sheep and his tent and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. Painful death. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. Achan's actions cost lives. and eventually cost him and his family and his animals their lives. It's like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Some things are painful in life because we make it more painful. When the Lord tells us let go, let go. Because at that point in time, holding on is going to have consequences. The Philistines, they had the Ark of God. They may start claiming that it was their ark, but it belonged to the nation of Israel. And the Lord was not going to allow them to keep it. There were little signs along the way, but then it kept on getting worse and worse. But it was too much. It was going to cost them too much to hold on to it. So they let go. Do not let the Lord have to make things extremely painful for you before you let go. Because sometimes pain is self-induced. Heartbreak is self-induced. Especially when the Lord tells you to let go.